Oh, I wonder what game this could be. What are the chances? What are the chances that we're playing Castlevania Curse of Darkness this year, like I said we were gonna do last year? Not. Wait. No, I meant. You know what I mean. I said last year that we were gonna play it this year for Halloween, and now we're playing it this year for Halloween. So we're gonna watch this cutscene first, because this cutscene is so good. This game is. Alright, here's the deal. Here's the deal. For a long, long time, Curse of Darkness had such a undeserved reputation for being a bad game in the Castlevania franchise. And it's only really recently, in the realm of public opinion, that this game has been deemed... It's been reevaluated as being not so bad. However, I've been singing the praises of this game for a long, long time. This is my favorite 3D Castlevania. I know that sounds like not much considering it's competition, but you have to remember here that it's just so good. In fact, I would say that this is in my top 5 Castlevania games. Now, here's the deal. On a technical level, is it better than, let's just say, like, Symphony of the Night and stuff like Aria of Sorrow and shit like that? Probably not in terms of, like, being a solid Metroidvania. However, this game is just a ton of fun, and I feel like people got a bad taste in their mouth from the N64 Castlevanias and then Lament of Innocence. And when this game came out, they were pretty much done with 3D Castlevania. They didn't want to be bothered with it anymore. So a lot of people just wrote this game off as being crappy. But it's really not. It's actually really good. Alright, I'm just in the options menu here. I'm going to change the camera control to inverse. And normally, here's the thing. Like, left and right directional buttons. So, like, with the camera in this game on the normal feels weird to me because, like, you push left and it swings the camera left, which is normally what inverse is in games nowadays, but it was different back in the day. I know I'm talking a mile a minute here. I'm gonna calm down in just a second. I'm just excited to finally be playing this. By the way, we're playing this on the PCSX2 emulator. We're playing it with the original disc. I don't have a PS2 that works, but that's alright. We're gonna start a new game. And let's name ourselves our channel name here. So, I'm sure some of you are thinking, Mitch, what are the stipulations for this one? Are we going to be 100%ing this, or anything like that? And I'm going to try, I'm going to, for a fact, get 100% map completion. That was just my test file. We're going to overwrite this. We're going to 100% try for 100% map completion, for sure. I don't know about 100% completion, but like crafting every item and stuff like that. Watch the cutscene.
Wallachia. A great war raged between Dracula and humanity. Just when it seemed that there was no hope for mankind to prevail, out of the darkness and despair, a champion arose. A true-blooded vampire hunter named Trevor Belmont. Belmont and his comrades triumphantly slew Lord Dracula. A truly glorious victory for all. However, the evil one did not pass from this world in silence. With his final words, Lord Dracula left a demonic curse that enshrouded all of Europe in misery and torment. Ravaged by hideous plague and dire famine, the people's hearts turned black and murderous. The weak were slain without pity, while the land was pillaged and scourged without remorse. 3 years have passed since the death of Lord Dracula, and the invocation of Dracula's curse.
Show yourself, Isaac! I know you're here!
Hector! Is that you?
I finally tracked you down.
You tracked me down. I was the one who lured you here. Hector, the fool who betrayed our Lord Dracula.
That matters not. I've come to exact my revenge upon you. For the death of Rosalie!
Oh, and how will you have this revenge? When you are utterly at my mercy, you relinquished your powers. You couldn't even protect your own woman. And now you think to defeat me? Lord Dracula is gone, but his powers are still here in Valacia. Even you must realize.
Devil forging.
Indeed, with this the most forbidden of arts. A wisp of conjured matter can be transformed into a hellish devil. There are but two humans who possess this magnificent power. You and I.
Yes, to our lasting shame. But I shed that evil power. Never again will I use it.
Ah, but you will, Hector, and soon you have no choice. Without it, I could crush you in an instant. But that wouldn't be very satisfying, now would it? You deserve a most gruesome fate for the humiliation you brought upon me 3 years ago. Bereft of the power of devil forging, you cannot hope to pursue me. That is why you will reclaim your powers, and thence follow where I lead you. But, in the end, the glorious vengeance you seek will not be yours. It will be mine.
Wait! Isaac! Damn him. So be it. I must descend into darkness and reclaim that accursed power once more. Heed my words. I will hunt you down like the beast you are! I will have my revenge.
Okay. So, here we go. Alright, so welcome to Castlevania Curse of Darkness. Here we are, right here, playing as Hector. And you might recognize him nowadays from the Castlevania anime. Which, you know, his characterization in the anime is very off. And don't get me wrong, I like the Castlevania anime. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But I have a lot of issues with Season 3 of the anime. Especially with characterization on Hector's part. And I'm going to explain why as we play through this game. Because his entire storyline, number one, is different. Number two, his entire personality is different than what it is in this. And I think in the end it's going to result in a much less entertaining character and capable character when they decide to adapt Curse of Darkness. But anyway, Curse of Darkness is the direct sequel to Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. And the basic storyline that of leading up to this game is well, hold on. First I want to point out that what I just did, if I pull up the map here, normally what they want you to do is they want you to go right into the abandoned castle over here. But if you go back the way you came, you'll come to this little spot right here, and you'll see that there's a potion right here. Now, interestingly, if you have saved game data from Castlevania Lament of Innocence, the one with Leon, there will be a different item over here, which is called a Moa statue, which you can sell at a shop later in the game for, I think it's like close to 6,000 gold. Which, yeah, you know, is a hefty chunk of change, but I don't own Lament of Innocence, so I couldn't get a save file to have to, what's it called? Yeah, to get that item to spawn. So we're gonna just take the potion for now. Anyway, as I was saying about this game's plot. So, in a nutshell, Castlevania 3, this game kind of retcons it a little in that there was these two guys who worked for Dracula that were called Devil Forgemasters, which were Hector, who we're playing as now, and Isaac, who probably looks a hell of a lot different if you're more familiar with the anime at this point, which I have a feeling most people are. Which is strange because they changed his design, and it has nothing to do with like the racial swapping of the character or anything like that. That doesn't really bother me. The thing that just boggles my mind about it is like Hector's design in this game is the pinnacle of anime, and like it's funny. Like if they made a Castlevania anime, that would be like the design they would not have to change, but they went with a different type of design, and a very different character too, mind you. We're gonna play in just a moment. I just want to finish some thoughts before I go into this room so I can you know, concentrate on the actual game coming up ahead. So just to finish, Castlevania 3, two guys working for Dracula, Devil Forgemasters, Hector and Isaac, considered to be some of Dracula's top generals, on the level of Death himself in terms of combat prowess. Their special ability allowed them to pretty much create monsters. Hector had a little bit more of a love for humanity than his fellow demons, to the point where he ends up willingly betraying Dracula and casting aside his powers. And there's a manga about this that you can find, and basically him and Isaac have like a big fight, and he kicks Isaac's ass, and like he abandons the cause and like betrays Dracula and defects. And that's also given for the reason why Hector and Isaac are not in Castlevania 3, because basically Hector defects before Trevor shows up at the castle. Isaac leaves to go hunt him down. Neither are in the castle when Trevor shows up to kill Dracula, which is a plot point in this game, because Isaac's really mad because he's like, well, Hector, if I was there and you were there, Dracula wouldn't have been defeated. So, essentially, in a nutshell, Hector goes into hiding, and when he and Isaac fought, Isaac gave Hector a very bad wound, where he was treated by nuns, and he meets a woman named Rosalie, who's sort of like a nun in training, who ends up, instead of becoming a nun, she becomes his wife. They meet, they fall in love, and it's sort of like part of Hector's repentance for his crimes. But, you know, in order to truly atone, he has to have everything taken from him. So Isaac, 3 years later, having survived, finds out that Hector is living in peace, I believe in France, with this woman Rosalie. And he goes and frames Rosalie for witchcraft, where she's put on trial and executed. And that, of course, drives Hector into a rage, especially when he finds out that it's Isaac. So he leaves to track Isaac down to Wallachia, which is where we are now, at the abandoned ruins of a castle. And it's implied initially that this is Dracula's castle. So I'll leave that up to you to decide whether it truly is or not. Also, this game is almost like the 3D version of Symphony of the Night in terms of how it plays. So you have different types of weapons, each of which have different movesets. Right now, we have a short sword. And if I hit this, you can actually see the different weapon types. There's 3 different types of swords, 2 different types of axes, spears, knuckles, and special weapons. And the weapon types are actually have an important factor to them. There's also helmets and armor and accessories and shit like that you equip. As you go through the game, we'll get skills. You can guard yourself. I'll explain all that when we get into combat. You collect items right now. All we got is that one potion. Materials. There is crafting in this game, which is a big part of this game, and we're gonna get into that in just a minute. All right. I think I've said all that needs to be said. Let's actually get on with the fucking game, huh? So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try for 100% map completion. Probably not gonna craft everything. Alrighty. So, the way this game plays is you have your chain of light attacks, and then you also have a combo ender, which, if you've ever played the Dynasty Warriors games, it's very similar to that. See, so if I do one attack like that, or if I, hit circle that time, I get different moves to end the combo. And right now, since this is a dinky little weapon, we only have a 4-string attack. But as we progress through the game and get stronger items, we'll get, better stuff. So this is the door to the save room. So we're gonna go in here first. And you'll see we just picked up an item called a memorial ticket. That is basically a warp. So what you do is you go to a save point and you register the ticket, and then every time that you use that ticket, you'll warp to the save point you last registered it in. And that's pretty much one of the chief ways you'll teleport around the map in this game. Alright, so if we pull up the map here, you'll see that there's 2 ways we can go. And the map in this game, from what I remember, is a little confusing. No, I want it in fixed mode. There we go. But that's alright. This game does have its shortcomings. We're gonna go down this way first. And of course, this is an RPG where you level up and gain experience by fighting. And we'll encounter a lot of classic Castlevania enemies as we go through, like mermen. I haven't played this in a while, too, so I gotta remember how to do things. So that's how you block. Right? And now we don't have the lock-on yet. Oh, no, we do. We do have lock-on. How did I do that? I think I hit R2 was lock-on. So yeah, you can lock on to enemies, and you'll see that there was a reticule that showed us locked on, and that's gonna actually be relevant later. And I'll tell you why when that comes up. But it all has to do with gathering materials for crafting. Alright, so what do we got here? We got a potion here. That's a dead end, I believe. I'm getting some screen tearing on my end. I hope that doesn't show up in the video. If it does, I apologize. I'm going to look into a way to fix that. Oh, that's okay. So, some enemies respawn, but only when you leave a room and come back. So, for instance, those mermen, if we left this room and came back in, they would respawn. So you could technically grind against them if you really wanted. But we're not going to do that. You don't need to grind a whole lot in this game. Alright, so yes, it is R2. Right? And then... Alright, so we got some bronze there. I'm trying to remember how to switch and... Oh, okay, it's L2 to switch. Gotcha. So, the bronze is a crafting item that we use to craft. And enemies have a drop rate, as you would expect, where they'll drop different materials. And the chance of them dropping the material is... I don't think we have the bestiary unlocked yet, I would show you. But basically, it's based on your luck. So if you see on the side, I got strength, constitution, and luck. Strength affects your damage, constitution is your health, and luck is your... Well, constitution is not your hit point health, it's more like your resistance to things like poison and all that kind of stuff. And then luck is your drop rate. And then just like classic Castlevania, you break candles to get gold and all that kind of stuff. Alright, let's go on forward. That. Okay, so every once in a while you're gonna come to rooms like this, which are kind of like arena rooms where you have to. Yeah, we don't have dodge yet. You come to arena rooms, which you have to. Oh, perfect. This is quick step, but I hit the button too fast and I didn't see how to do it. Oh, okay. Yep, I remember now. Yeah, so you come to these rooms and you gotta beat all the enemies in before the way will open forward. Now these are skeletons, they're pretty easy, they die in a couple of hits. Sorry for skipping that, guys, but basically while you're locked on, you press the jump button. You will do a quick step where you'll do flips, and that's basically how you dodge. And the combat in this game is fairly nuanced, because when we get different weapons, you'll see that different weapon types have different move sets, and there's not only blocking, normal blocking and dodging, but there's also perfect guard and stuff like that, which is all a lot of fun. There's combos, you can juggle things. What you need advanced weapons for it, but it's all possible. I always wondered, like, I know they spawn from the darkness, so it's supposed to be like a magical thing, but it always struck me as silly that, you know, there's just wolves on the castle walls. Like, how'd they get up here? Also, every time we encounter a group of skeletons, there is a random chance, I believe it's based on your luck, that a golden skeleton will spawn. And they're hard to defeat. They got a lot of hit points. They don't do a lot of damage, but they have a lot of hit points. And if you manage to take one out, they drop a hell of a lot of gold. So maybe we'll get lucky and encounter one. Alright, so over here we got a save point. Let's go ahead and go save. So every time you enter a save point, just like in Symphony of the Night, it'll refill your health. I'm not going to bother rotating saves. I don't think I really need to. Alright. Let's keep going forward. Or are we going back the way we came? The thing that makes navigating this game tough, in particular, is it would just be so helpful if there was a compass on your HUD. But there's no compass, so it makes things a little tricky sometimes to figure out which way you're going. Alright. So here, we get the map, which is helpful. And if we go here, now it doesn't fill in the entire map, but it shows you the basic gist of the layout here. Oh ho! Sneaking up on me, Fenrir, huh? Fenrir, by the way, if you don't know, is the name of the wolf in Norse mythology, who is one of the children of Loki and the giantess Angrboda. And basically he bites off Tyr's hand. If you don't know who Tyr is, he's the Norse god of like justice and law and order. And he's also a god of war, because pretty much every Norse god was every male Norse god, with probably the exception of like Forseti, and and most female Norse gods were all technically war gods as well. But my point is about Fenrir is he bites off Tyr's hand, and then he also, spoiler alert, he eats Odin alive at the Battle of Ragnarok. Alright. Should probably be guarding over here. Whoa-ho! Alright, so this is another one of those arena rooms, and we got a Cyclops there. And honestly, it's gonna be easier to kill the skeletons first. And then we can deal with that big guy. Alright, let's block him. There we go. That's basically the best way to get damage right now. Raw damage is 1, 2, and then that. Especially against bigger targets. Because with their bigger hitbox, you'll get about 3 to 4 hits with the short sword if the aim is really good. Alright, so here we'll find a chest, and you'll see that we don't have a way to open it. And I'll explain how to open it after we go into this next room.
This unearthly power, is it coming from that tombstone? How conscientious of him. He carved the instructions into stone along with the most difficult visualization. So, that's how badly he wants me to regain my powers. Very well. Heed my words, O great powers of darkness. Release him with the tortured souls. Let me infuse him with my life force and awaken him to the world of the living. Immaculate being, appear before me now!
You know, with such a grand show, you would expect him to conjure some, like, big, powerful demon, or at least, like, a skeleton, but...
Well, well. Devil forging, isn't it? Never seen that before. Quite impressive. It's enough to make your blood run cold.
Who are you?
Oh, my apologies, my lord. I should have offered an introduction. I go by Zed. I'm here for one purpose only. To purify this land of the pestilent curse which infects it.
I see.
You, on the other hand, are pursuing the other devil forgemaster, are you not? The one you seek fled toward the chapel on the other side of the mountain. He made his escape through the back of the castle.
What concern is this to you?
He is the one protecting the curse. Ergo, he is an impediment to me, and to all those who abide in this land.
I see. Very well. I, Hector, thank you for your help. Now, if you'll forgive me, I must be on my way.
Alright, so there we get introduced to a minor character, whose name is Zed. But also, we get our first innocent devil. So, we gotta name it Toto. I guess Toto would work. We can also do random names. You can get creative if you want to name your innocent devils all sorts of different things. So, considering what the final form of this one... I'm sorry. That made me laugh. Okay. Considering what the final form of this one is, I want to get a decent name for it. So basically, Innocent Devils are like Castlevania's answer to Pokemon or something like that. So Innocent Devils, or IDs, are the mystical, untainted familiars created by Devil Forgemasters. Innocent Devils have absolute loyalty to their creator. So summoned ID may grant status enhancements to Hector. Status enhancements can be examined on the status screen. Innocent Devils use hearts as energy. Whenever they take damage or use a special ability, their heart energy will decrease. If they lose all their hearts, they'll revert to a soul form. At that point, they'll simply hover around Hector. If Hector gathers enough hearts, the Innocent Devil soul can be restored to material form. Innocent Devils cannot permanently die. So, Innocent Devils level up with experience points by defeating enemies, just like Hector. When an enemy is defeated by either Hector or the Innocent Devil, both Hector and his ID will gain experience. An ID must be summoned for it to receive any experience points. However, to truly succeed... To truly succeed, level up both Hector and his Innocent Devils. Setting the mode to auto instructs the Innocent Devil to act on its own. In auto mode, the ID's manner of attack and use of special abilities are dictated by its own reasoning. Setting the mode to command allows Hector to directly control the ID's actions. In command mode, the ID tends to stick closer to Hector and targets the same enemy that Hector is battling. In this mode, Innocent Devils will not use special abilities that consume hearts unless they are told to do so. To use an ID's special ability, select the ability with the left or right directional button and press the ability button to activate it. Use these two modes effectively to make battles easier for Hector. Characteristics of Fairy type Innocent Devils. So this is the first type that we get. It's the Fairy type. This is your support type. They float around you. As far as I know, I don't think enemies really aggressively attack them. They have the ability to open up treasure chests, and they can also restore HP or heal status ailments. So, we're going to leave this on command, and we can have the fairy heal us, which I'm going to do just because I want to show it off. So you'll see that it has a life bar, and because we used that ability, it took life from the life bar. So, also, if we go to summon, you'll see that we have a whole roster of Innocent Devils over here. We only have one right now, but we'll get more in the future, I promise. Alright. So anyway, Innocent Devils are like this game's answer to Pokemon, in a way, I guess, because you, oh, there's something, I forgot what you gotta do here to, get it to open the chest. There we go. So yeah, the fairy types need to open the chest. Crest made from a carved dragon bone. I believe that goes back over on that end, yeah. So they evolve. And we'll get to evolving them in a minute and how that works. But just know that they evolve and change form, and that's how you increase them to get better abilities. Ah, fuck. That's because I'm not locked on. So in a nutshell, progression through the game is tied to you having certain Innocent Devils sometimes. But in order to complete the game, you'll have pretty much all the Innocent Devils you'll need by just playing the game naturally. However, in order to, I think meat instantly heals you, and it's not a consumable. However, in order to get 100% completion, there are some specific Innocent Devils you need that have special abilities that are needed to overcome certain obstacles. And I've taken the liberty already of charting out which evolutions I need to get in order to get 100% map completion. So, when the time comes for me to explain how to evolve things, I'll give you the rundown of how we're going to evolve this particular fairy. And also another thing is that when Innocent Devils fight alongside you long enough, they'll produce what's called a Devil Shard, which is basically like an egg. And what you can do with that is you can hatch it to form a new Innocent Devil, a new... so like for instance, this fairy could drop a shard that would give us a, that would let us make another fairy. And, it pretty much inherits the stats from its parent, so it would be even stronger. We could save, but I feel like we don't need to. I don't think we're really in jeopardy right now. So, not only can you have multiple types of the same Innocent Devil, it further encouraging you to explore the various evolutions that they have. But at the same time, what was I going to say? At the same time, it also just creates a fun system, I guess. I lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry, guys. I'll remember what I was trying to say. I've been having that happen to me a lot lately. I don't know, this whole quarantine thing had really been messing with my brain. Like, getting to the point where, like, I didn't even know what day it was anymore. But, anyway, long story short. Okay, cool, so the innocent devil there just leveled up. And as they level up, they get more and more HP. Which I need to do special abilities. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about special abilities. So, when you evolve innocent devils, you get different types of special abilities, but they also inherit their parents' stats, which makes them stronger. So, essentially, if you like a certain innocent devil, devil type, your best bet is not to evolve it into the favorite form that you want right away, and instead to, what am I trying to say here? And instead, you know, get the other forms first, have it produce a devil shard, that way you end up with a stronger version of the one you like. However, there's a certain order that I want to evolve these in, which is not optimal for maximum enjoyment of my favorite types, but is optimal for completing the game in a Let's Play format, so we're going to go with that. Yeah. And we've been picking up quite a bit of bronze. We haven't gotten so much wild memory, which is what the Fenris Wolves drop, which I would like to hopefully get more of. Oh, and you'll probably also notice the enemies have a level associated with them. So, it might... I don't think it's considered a spoiler, but that, like, later in the game you encounter, these same enemies again, but there'll be a higher level. And they have different drops, I believe. Alrighty. What do we got here? Skeletons. I believe the next sword we get is coming up soon, if I remember correctly. Alright, these guys are always tricky because they move around a lot, and they're prone to just... They have like this Blanca ball attack, that's the best way I could describe it, where they'll just charge at you from across the screen when you're not ready. So it's always better to take a little bit of like a defensive position with them. And also, drop rate from the candles based on your luck works a lot like Symphony of the Night in that they have, yeah, put the Dragon Crest in. They have set drop rates in terms of what drops, but the chance of it dropping something is based on your luck. Alright, yeah, we gotta watch out for him. Oh ho! Huh! Oh! We blocked just in time. Alrighty. I should take care of this room. And also, one real nice thing about the doors in this game is the arrows coming out of the door show you, like, we came in from this way, and if we wanted to leave, that would be a way out. Alright, so this is the bestiary. So I'm going to pull that up so I can show that. It's a useful resource. So, gives you enemy name, its HP, experience, weaknesses, intolerances, drops, steal rate is, so you can steal things from enemies. We haven't learned how to do that yet, but that's a big part of collecting materials for crafting, because some materials will never be dropped by enemies, you'll only steal them. So just to show you some stuff we encountered, we got skeletons, we got the executioner, who has an item drop that we haven't gotten yet. We got the merman. We fought the Fenrir, who drops wild memory. And we fought a Cyclops. Alright. Oh! Shit, I mashed triangle a little too much. I did not mean to do that. So yeah, candle drop rate. Like I said, set in stone as far as rate of what drops, but chance that it will drop something based on your luck. Alright, so here we come across one of my favorite enemies in this game. Well, favorite enemy types, because I just think they look so cool, are the ghosts. Did we? Yep, we came in through there. I just think they look cool. I don't know, it's such a cool depiction of the ghosts with like the lantern floating around with like the dark face with the hood. It's just spooky. I like it. I think this game has some really fun enemy designs. I really do. I think there's a lot that's appealing about this game for sure. The one criticism of this game's design that I do agree with though is environments are a little bland. And I think a big part of that though is because you move so fast through them that you don't really stop and actually look at them. Because if you like, you know, certain key details are really not that bad considering it's a PS2 game, like with this pile of skulls and torches and stuff like that. However, a lot of areas are real big too, so if they took the design to, like if they had taken the time to design you know, like unique areas for every single room, god, that would have taken forever, number one. And number two, it would just I'm gonna register the ticket. Number two, like it would just take up so much memory on the game disc. So instead, because the areas are so large in this game, and this game is actually decently long, you'll find that a lot of stuff gets reused. I'm just gonna go and trigger these skeletons, just because I was mainly curious if they would spawn a golden skeleton, but it appears not. So, and plus, because you move so fast through them, these areas, it's not like they really thought like, well, let's stop and make all the areas so pretty looking. Plus, you also gotta remember that this is Konami, and they always love to make games on a budget, so to speak. Back when they used to make video games, of course. Alright. There we go. So we got him down. That's perfect. Oh ho! Mr. Fenris Wolf! You thought you could come get me, did you? Alright, we're gonna go through this door first. Or is this progress? You know what, we're gonna actually go back and go through the other door, because that leads to an unknown area. There we go. Nice little juggle there with the combo ender. Also, Curse of Darkness has a really good soundtrack. Not iconic Castlevania songs, but still really, really good. I used to really enjoy the music for the Abandoned Castle #1, which is this one. Also, later on, we're going to get to a temple that I just really like the music in, too. Alright, we got a wild memory there. Yeah, it's just so good with the synth. I don't know. I really like the synthesizer sound with like video game music. I feel like nowadays where everything wants to be so grand and orchestral all the time, almost to the point of nauseation, in my opinion, that like some arts of designing melodic video game music has been lost. I don't know, I feel that a lot with a lot of game design nowadays is that there's certain elements of video game design that have just been lost. That no one really does anymore. Oh, okay, so that was just a shortcut. So I guess... let's go back through here then. And what I mean by lost is, what am I trying to say here? Oh. Ow. Alright, Fairy, give me a little heal there. What am I trying to say by lost? These ghosts can be tough to hit. Oh, okay, yep, that's how you do the pop-up. So there's also ear combos, too. It's a little tough to hit on these guys. And also, because they're ghosts, the nice little detail is they can just go right through walls, which is really cool. So anyway, what I mean by game design being lost is, I don't know, with video games nowadays, I just feel like certain things that made games of the past really fun, or fun to play, or pleasant, for lack of a better term, have kind of been put to the wayside in favor of gross, and I don't mean gross in the sense of disgusting, ew, get away from me. I mean gross as in, like, large amount. So a gross overemphasis on realism and cinematicism. And I don't think cinematicism is a word, but I'm going to coin it. Basically, games these days, they want to be... the vast bulk of them want to be either overly realistic or overly cinematic, with these big orchestral soundtracks and these super high budgets, hiring celebrities to do voiceovers for them and stuff like that, and also an overemphasis on trying to be as realistic looking and playing as possible. And because of that, I feel like a lot of aesthetic of past video game stuff gets lost. So stuff like, what do you call it? Stuff like, you know, fun music, like in this game, and, you know, interesting graphical and aesthetic decisions get put to the wayside. It's just a shame. I'm glad we came this way. We get some aluminum. Alright. Good, some wild memory. You need that. Whoa! Yeah, let me lock onto you. Thank you. Alright. We explored the whole area there. We can head back. Sorry for that little detour. So yeah, I tend to be bad at explaining myself when I'm going unscripted like this. There's a reason why on my primary channel when I do a video, everything's scripted, because when I just talk, you know, motor mouth style with spewing things, I tend to, number one, get lost in my own thoughts. I tend to do a bad job of explaining what I actually am trying to say. So if you are misunderstanding what I mean by, like, games are too overly realistic, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing either. In fact, the push towards realism has done a lot for the video game industry as well. It's made it more mainstream, which I suppose you could make an argument of whether that's truly a good thing or not. It's definitely created some really, really fantastic works of fiction, for sure. But at the same time, I don't know, I'll always be a sucker for, like, fun, cartoony games that, like, the big studios don't make anymore. Instead, they all want to make, you know, like, massive AAA budget games that, are expected to sell like 10 million copies, and when they only sell 6 million, it's considered like a financial loss. And I remember Square Enix a while ago. See, now I'm just going on fucking tangents. I remember a while ago, back when like the Tomb Raider games came out or whatever, Square Enix went through this whole thing where they were like, I went the wrong way, where like the Tomb Raider games were projected to sell like 11 million copies, but they only sold 7, and it was considered a huge financial loss. And it's like, hold on now. You sold 7 million video games. That's a lot of video games. Okay, I want to go straight. Well, at least I'm getting experience from all these ghosts. Alright. So that's the other thing that I feel has been lost to video games, is the over-corporatization. And I'm not opposed to corporations by any means. That's really not my style. I am and always will be a massive proponent of capitalism, first and foremost. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit of a tough situation. Alright, we got one Fenris Wolf. There we go, we managed to get 2 ghosts. The wolves I'm not really worried about. They're pretty easy to take down. It's really the ghosts that I want to watch out for because they're hard to read. Alright. So yeah, I've always been, and always will be, a big proponent of capitalism. However, the thing I don't like is the exploitation side of the video game industry, where it comes to exploiting not only the consumer, but also exploiting the developers and employees as well, which is also really shady and happens a lot. Alright, so I want to go this way, right? Yep. We'll get to a point where I start become more familiar with the map and my memory like regains itself. And I won't be checking it every fucking 10 seconds. So, just bear with me here. What's that? What are you trying to say? Weapon combining. Here we go. Here's the crafting. Combine. So, we can make a couple of new weapons here. Helmet, bronze. Alright. Well, armor would be nice. I'm not super concerned about it. So here's the deal. Let me look at my list here real quick for my innocent devils, because the way you evolve them is based on what weapon you're using. So for this guy, it's most imperative that I get a sword. A foil. And then we can also go and make another short sword. That way we can get this axe. And then I'm gonna make one more short sword. And that took my aluminum, but that's alright. We can then also make us a nice helmet and a nice piece of armor. And I'm not really concerned about the other thing. We'll worry about that. So I'm going to take the moment to show you. So the hatchet moveset is pretty much the same as the sword moveset. Yeah, they want me to lock onto that. Yeah. So this is the same as the sword moveset because it's a one-handed axe. There's also two-handed axes, which are different, but this is the rapier moveset, which is a lot of fun. Right? So we're gonna roll with the rapier for just a moment, because there's a lot of fun. they're not very strong, the rapiers, but they're fast, and also because the attacks like have a big emphasis on like mobility, like that. They're really good for defensive stuff as well. This is probably the best, one of the best, I wouldn't say it's the best, one of the best 3D action game rapier movesets, in my opinion, that really captures like the fantasy rapier combat style of like dodging around and moving super fast.